Why, hello there, fellow orchard workers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Pompeii the Legacy. Episode 4, Grapes, Wine, and Progress with Time. The other thing I know that we're going to require is, if I'm not mistaken, I think schools require... Let me check. I think they require patricians to teach, which means we're going to need domuses. I will place the domuses here. So I'm going to build a road separating out the insulas from the domuses and place the domuses in this area here, next to the forum. Let the patricians listen to the noisy forum. As, let's call it, punishment. They're not being punished, right, guys? Totally not. Oh, really? It runs straight to the prefecture? Fine. Okay. Domuses are researched, and we'll get our first domus in here. Back to the regular tech tree. I don't want any of that. Okay. After schooling, I'm going to get shrine influence to increase the influence of the shrines by a little, because that will help to cover the domuses better. Does the map display Roman names for the seas? I'm assuming? I mean... I'm not really a Roman historian here, so I would assume. Seems like it. All right, I could probably. How many bricks do I have? 300. I'm going to wait until I get about 1,000 tools before I run over overstock. So let's go to the stocks here and click tools and say the limit of tools will be 1,000 and the trade quantity target will be 500. I'll explain what this does a little bit later. But basically the trade quantity target means you will not sell below 500. So it keeps it local so that you can't just like trade away all of your resources, and then the maximum is like how many you're going to produce. All right, so the research for schools are done. I do already have a domus for the teachers, and if we go to education, we can build a school. And I'll put the school right next to the town hall. Why not? With like a little sliver here. Let's box it in like that. Do we have enough slaves? We have 17 excess slaves that are currently unemployed. I'd say it's fine for now. I'll adjust accordingly if we ever have a shortage. Looking at the food again, we are no longer producing more food than we are consuming. However, it's by only a tiny margin, so I'm not exactly worried about that.
You're alive! Truly alive! I was so worried I'd never see you again.
I was afraid too, more times than I care to admit. But something kept me going. The thought of you and your words before I left.
Look at them. They're not children anymore.
Gods, they've grown so much. Marcos, you're nearly a man now.
I did my best. Took care of Mother and the others, as well as I could. It wasn't easy.
Father, you look pale. Are you all right?
Are you sick? Why are you walking so slowly?
Some kind of fever hit us on the way back. I'm not the only one. Most of the men who returned are ill. Some didn't make it home.
You're not dying. Not here. Not now. Marcos, see to it we build a herbalist garden right away. We need to gather enough healing herbs to help everyone recover.
Yes, the kids grew up. Particularly the family. Maximus is now 60. Marcos is 18. Claudius is 15. Flavia is 16. So they're older. Research herbalist garden, build an herbalist garden, and gather them to help the sick. Okay. Herbalist gardens is in society. It's right here. And we'll get that next. We are in the positive for food production. Although with that said, it might make sense to ramp something up. So what food to make more of? Meat, mushrooms, or fish? There you go. There's the pulp. Totally fair poll with me not trying to weigh in at all. Yep. Okay. I see. I see how it goes. Fine. Fine. You want fish? You fish freaks. Ugh. Whatever. All right. We'll get another fishing wharf. Stick it in there. I hate you. So, what does school even do? I kind of forget. I guess I never learned. I don't know. That doesn't really tell me what it does. Cool. Yeah, it does stuff. I think it supplies education as a happiness requirement, and that's what it does. But it gives a semi-convoluted description for it. So, yeah. We don't have stupid children, I guess. Alright, so the herbalist garden got researched. Let's see if there's adjacency bonuses for it. I don't think there is. Herbalist and apothecary for adjacency bonuses. Alright. So wherever we plant it, we should have room for an apothecary later on. I guess. So in the health and hygiene, the herbalist garden is kind of a honker, if you will. A big old thing. And we'll put it here. That will work. Alright, stocks. We're getting kind of close to, like, too much stuff. As you may have noticed. Right, we're filling up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a pause on the quarry. And the pause on the iron mine. Because I have a bunch of stone and a bunch... Well, I won't pause the quarry just yet. But we have a bunch of iron. The blacksmith forge is still forging away. So I'm going to pause that as well. Taking a look at pottery. I will pause that. And brickworks. I'll have the brickworks keep going for a little bit, but I'm also going to pause the charcoal burner. Does the garden need fertility? I don't think it does, but you have a lot more arable land than you need until much later on in the game, so I'm not going to really worry about it for now. Alright, let's see if it actually tells me if it needs to be fertile or not. Well, need is maybe the wrong term. Because it allows me to build it wherever the hell I want. As long as it's on buildable ground. So I don't think it really needs to be arable, but I'm going to put it up here all the same. It's actually kind of a pretty building. Medicinal herbs. And there it is. And now we just need to gather 100 herbs to treat the sick. I'm not going to bother upgrading this thing because you don't need a lot of herbs to go a long way. All right. Looking at the government tab for society. Yeah, that's all we'll do for now. I'm going to pause one of my sawmills. I'm going to pause the other one. And this is just so that I'm managing my stocks, because at the moment we have 1,500 at 15,000 at or 14.6 at a 19.5. Obviously, I could add more depots, but I don't really need the people working if I'm not selling the goods, and I don't need to, you know, be stockpiling them. So why bother? All right, you guys wanted me to get more fish. Our production outpaces our consumption, so we're good for now.
Thanks to all of you, I'm back on my feet again.
You've earned your recovery. You and everyone who came back with you. Maybe it's time the city takes a deep breath and celebrates.
For a proper celebration, we'll need proper wine. I suggest we start building vineyards and a winery right away.
And once that's done, we'll hold a grand feast in honor of your return.
All right, research a vineyard, build a winery, and gather amphorae of wine for the feast. Wine is a luxury good, so this is introducing the first luxury good into your town. And that's because, needless to say, both the plebeians and patricians will want wine. I mean, who doesn't, right? Does the game have one-tile decorations? Yes, it does. Has plenty. The game will ask me actually to make decorations later on, like busts or fences and the like. So that's why I haven't really decorated around it yet. But if you really want, what I could do is I'll put in a lovely wooden fence for now as a stopgap. Keep the kids in the, you know, off the lawn. There. Now it's fenced in. With like the most ghetto looking fence ever, but you know, whatever. I think that fence is intended to be a decoration for the farms. You know, so that your farm... Well, I don't... There it goes. So there. Now the farm looks, you know, farmish. The road to the left doesn't connect? You were right. Or I'll build what's left. Now, I'm assuming this is a bug, but like you've got like timber that like doesn't go away. Like this stuff is not something that I can delete or remove, as you can see. I don't think it's actual terrain blocker, and there's, you know, there's some sort of terrain that doesn't get nuked like it should. The game did just release, so I'm assuming these are just like things to be patched out eventually. Full decoration over it? I don't think that works. Oh, it does. No, never mind. I take it back. Ha! A solution. And then remove the decoration and it's gone. Well, I guess that works. So the vineyard is about to be researched, and that's going to be another food production. Keep in mind that grapes can be eaten, obviously, duh. Grapes can be eaten or turned into wine. So when you're making a vineyard, you might want to do a vineyard for one and then the other. As far as the game's concerned, it doesn't seem to need a fertility, but I'm going to build it on fertile soil anyway. So what I'm planning on doing is having like a complex, a vineyard complex. So let's build our first vineyard there. And I'm researching marble quarry because it's required for the winery. Okay, now that we have a vineyard, let's go ahead and put the vines out. There it is. Perfect. And as I mentioned, I think it's going to be best if we have at least multiple vineyards. And the reason is we're going to want to grow grapes for food and also grow grapes for wine. So doubling up seems reasonable. Come on, let me build the stupid road. So I'm planning on building a winery here and then another vineyard here going east. So marble quarry is done. We'll get the winery next. And then I'll get the improved clay processing out of the way. Just trying to keep track of my stocks. So if we take a look at the stocks here, it's still climbing because I'm gaining other stuff. Like wood. Actually, I'm not using a lot of wood right now, so I'm going to pause the forester camps both. Because I don't need like 2k wood just sitting in my depots. The other thing that I'm likely not to use, and this is like maybe a failing of the tutorial a little bit, is I don't have any need for herbs at the moment, so the herb garden that I've got going on doesn't do anything. Later on, the herb garden will be how you make medicine from the apothecary's house that is then administered on the healing house, but it asks you to get the herb garden so early on that in my playtest, I wasn't like keeping track of stocks, and I had something like 12,000 herbs just sitting in my depots before I realized, oh yeah, I'm not using those. So I should probably turn that off. It was funny for a minute, and then I realized, what am I gonna do with 12,000 herbs? And then I had to figure out like, all right, who can I trade this to? Because it's taking up a lot of room. Needless to say, the marble quarry is basically the same as the other quarry buildings. You just build it into the mountainside. Of course, this mountainside is like kind of shaped in a not helpful way. I might not be able to... I could put it here, I think. Yeah. That might be the closest I can get it to everything else. I'll plop it there. The game hasn't asked me to do marble yet, but it takes a while to do the land clearing and building of a quarry, so I might as well do it. Plus, I have a bunch of furloughed slaves that have got nothing better going on right now, so might as well have them help. Alright, winery is done. So that's a luxury good, and here is the winery building. And there's adjacency bonuses for the winery and the vineyard, so I placed them together. Alright, and there is the research bonus. So when a winery is built next to a vineyard, winery gains production. So we'll research that next. So my food production is going to skyrocket briefly, because all of those grapes are not being consumed. And then it will level back out into a normal level once we are turning into wine. And we have need of a lot of wine. So it won't be hard to put that to use for the feast. Yeah, the autosave icon is down in the bottom left. It doesn't like stop the game or anything, which is nice. All right, I think I'm gonna pause the grain farm for now. I'm not making bread, and I have 3,000 grain in the stockpiles, and this is just so that we don't fill, because we're getting kind of close to our fill rate, our max. To that end, I could always upgrade my depots, or research the warehouse tech, which is right here. But again, I'm not trying to get ahead of the tutorial, or the guided campaign, I should say. It's not really a tutorial at this point. But there it is. There's our winery. And this winery I'm going to upgrade to produce more. I don't have glass, however, for the last tier upgrade. Alright, we're researching fresh pressing, and then, yeah, I think that's it for now for research, until it tells us to do something else. It's important for me to rebuild Pompeii well? I'll try. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to hold back the volcanoes, but, you know, we'll see. This could also probably benefit from a depot nearby. Maybe I'll put a depot here. There's already a depot there, but it just kind of fits nicely here. Whoa! Okay. There we go. And that will increase my storage space a little bit. So, in researching fresh pressing, the winery gains a bonus. So if we stick the Lux goods in, it's should say 15%. I think it's 15%. But we'll be making wine post haste. We're already up to 162. I'm going to shut down the quarry. And shut down the marble quarry. Actually, I'll keep the marble quarry going. I'll build up a nice little supply of marble and then I'll shut it down. 'Cause I don't have real use of marble at the moment. Just put a cork in it. Is that what you buy from Corsia or whatever? That was an Italian joke. Although cork comes from Portugal, if I'm not mistaken. I think Portugal produces something like 90% of the world's cork. Portugal cork. And not Cork, England. See. Despite being American, I kind of know my geography. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Can the camera be angled to see the building's back is missing? Like this? In the mines? No,
Citizens, I've returned from war with scars, but also with gratitude. This city is more than stone and streets. It is family. Thank you for waiting.
Father, your return means more than words can say. Let the celebration, the wine we pour and the fires we light, be our vow to protect and rebuild this city.
Now that you're home, I pray this is the beginning of peace. For our city, for our children, for all of us.
In wine, there is truth. In honor, strength. But only wisdom guides us through time. For the next month, we celebrate. But after that, hard work awaits. The true rebuilding of Pompeii is just beginning.
Okay, we're having a feast for 30 days. Drinking 300 amphora of wine in 30 days with, well, alright, the slaves don't drink, so with 15 citizens? Yeah, that's a lot of booze. Let's turn on the sawmill again, because my lumber is whittling down. It'd be good to have that back on, and then do one of the two foresters' camps, but not the other one. Just making sure we're staying nice and balanced. My clay is a bit much, so I'm going to turn that off. Charcoal burning. Let's see. Charcoal, how you doing? Yeah, keep that off. Pottery. Let's turn the pottery back on, because we're low on pottery. We're down to 140. We burned through our supply pretty quickly. I guess there was like Link smashing pots or something. I don't really know where it went. But we're still sitting on a giant
The
surplus of grain.
celebration is behind us. The wine has dried. The fires have dimmed. Now, we must return to the work that defines a city. Pompeii deserves more than songs and garlands. It deserves vision.
You're right. We have rejoiced, now we rebuild. The city hall must be expanded and strengthened. It is the heart of this community, and I believe it's time you take the lead. This will be your task, my son.
I accept. I'll speak with the engineers today and begin planning the expansion. You've built the city on courage. Now let me build upon your foundation.
So lazy, retiring at 61. Ha! Unbelievable. Alright, research how to expand your seat of governance for City Hall 2. So research, society, City Hall 2. Cost some denarii, but no problem. And that's our next goal. Get a bigger City Hall. So the City Hall upgrade itself, that's not a City Hall, is going to cost a lot of lumber, which unfortunately for me, I kind of let decrease a bit. So we're going to have to build up a bit of a surplus of lumber. I'll add some more working slots to expedite the process. Once we have City Hall 2 done, I don't think there's any other follow-up research to do at the moment. Just waiting on the lumber and we'll get it done. Look at these losers. They're fishing in the Mediterranean. I don't know why. It's just a fun joke that I hate fishing. Okay. We are making 113 a week of lumber, so it shouldn't be long until we have enough. And then we did burn through our wood supply, which is probably pretty good, because let's take a look at our stocks. 16 out of 21? Yeah.
The City Hall upgrade is complete. Reinforced walls, expanded chambers, and ready for council use.
Father, everything has been done as planned. The new hall is ready to serve the people.
I've watched you lead this with clarity and purpose. You've proven you're ready for more. This city will be in good hands.
I'm just glad we'll finally have enough space to breathe, with all the city's troubles arriving at our doorstep daily.
Then it's time. This hall now holds not just stone and scrolls, but authority. We must begin drafting laws. Let us prepare to pass our first.
All right. Research the first law in the Society tab and pass it in the Governance tab. Unfortunately, my polling just broke, so I'm going to have you guys decide through Twitch polling what law to pass. Tax hike or tax reform. I'll give you 2 minutes to vote. The tax hike boosts the taxes on the lower classes, on the plebeians, by 10%, and lowers their satisfaction with governance to -1 per week. The tax reform, on the other hand, reduces their tax by 10% and boosts their satisfaction to 2% per week. So those are the differences, making them pay less or pay more and be less happy or more happy. All right, I see how the poll is swinging, so I think tax reform is going to be the law we pass. So I'll start working on that. All right, how's our grain? Wow, we are still fine. Checking the stocks of the other stuff. Wood is fine. It's in free fall, but that's to be expected. I'm quickly building up my lumber. Stone's fine. Yeah, it looks like nothing is a problem. Charcoal is actually... I thought I turned off my charcoal burners. No, apparently I didn't do both. I'm going to turn off that charcoal burner because we have too much charcoal. What's happiness like anyway? At the moment, it's like 100%. So, I don't even think that's... How do you track happiness? I'm not really sure you can. I mean, if you click on individual houses, you can see the happiness, which gives you sort of a summary, but that's not like a summary of all of your citizens, just those that live in that specific house. But nobody right now is like discontent with anything. Mostly because I don't think happiness really wavers until you get past this point. The way the campaign works is like it will slowly enable mechanics over time. So, for instance, no one was drinking wine until the game asked me to produce wine, and now we consume 35 wine or 30 wine per month or per week or whatever time management that is. All right, you guys want tax reform, so we are researching tax reform. You got it.
Lowering taxes now? When the treasure is barely stable? That's not compassion. It's short-sighted.
It's called justice. The plebeians carry the weight of this city. If we can't ease their burden now, when will we?
All laws must pass through the council. Go to the govern section. Use your govern points to propose and vote. Choose wisely. Each law shapes the soul of the city.
Okay, so governance tab, and you go to govern, and you have a certain amount of governing points for active laws, and we can pass the plebeian tax reform by enacting it, and then you can appeal it too, if you want at a later date, but we'll leave that in. So, as a result,
A delegation from Syracuse has just docked in our trade port. They request an audience with the council.
Honored citizens of Pompeii, I bring greetings from the Archon of Syracuse. We come with a proposal to open trade between our cities. Let your goods flow to our markets and ours to yours.
We are open to friendship, but under what terms does Syracuse wish to trade?
We offer fish, olives, olive oil, wine, pottery, and perfume. In return, we seek your wood, lumber, furniture, salt, and crafted tools. Fair weights, fair prices, sealed with mutual respect. As a gesture of goodwill, I am authorized to offer you a gift of 1,000 denarii from the city of Syracuse in hopes that our trade may begin swiftly.
Their offer is well balanced. It seems there's little downside to this trade deal.
Then let it be so. Our city accepts this trade, on the understanding that it serves both sides well.
Excellent. May our ships bring not only goods, but enduring peace.
A wise agreement. But words mean little without sales. We must now purchase our trading ship, visit the port, and commission a vessel to begin the route.
all right, so buy a trade ship. You click on your trade port, and you click buy ship, and we'll just buy the bigger one, because why not? Begin trading with Syracuse. So, this is where it gets a little weird, and I'll do my best to try to explain. If you go to the Empire tab and click on Syracuse, you can then click on the sell. They want to buy tools, wood, lumber, furniture, armor, salt, and marble. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click tools, wood, lumber. Actually, forget wood. Tools, furniture, and marble. Now, as you can see here, there is red. Here, let me hide the interface so you can see even better. The tools are in the non-red because my trade target quantity is 500, my stocks are greater than that, and therefore it is valid to be traded. We're also trading 100 per month, I think it is. The furniture, however, has a trade target quantity of 10,000, and we only have 967. So, in order to fix this, you double-click the resource in the stockpile, furniture, and then we want to set the trade target quantity as something more reasonable. Let's say 500, and then I'll set the limits to like 1,000, or maybe like 2,000, and then I'll do the same with marble. Limit of 2,000 marble total, and trade of 500 target. And now furniture, marble, and tools are all valid to be traded. Then also there's this quantity. So how much we sell monthly. We'll sell 100 monthly. And then we'll have to adjust times divided by 4 for the changes to our own production, which means I need to open up the marble quarry again and then start making tools again. We can import things too. So let's import perfume at 25 a month. Because it's not something we can easily make. The other stuff we can make pretty easily. And that's how to do trade. Your trade ships have a certain amount of capacity, monthly capacity of 6,000, depending on the ship you use. And then once that's done, you assign your ship to the actual trade route. So if we go to Empire again, I would need to assign a ship to it. Done. So the hang up here is if you don't...
The messenger brought us a letter from Empress Plotina. She invites us to Rome for a special gathering dedicated to promoting art and education across the Empire.
Plotina has always valued wisdom above spectacle. Such an invitation is a rare honor.
Will we meet poets, sculptors, maybe even philosophers from Athens?
Rome is the heart of all thought and beauty. I'll bring back every idea I can carry.
Just remember, while Rome dreams, Pompeii still works. Safe travels.
We'll be back soon. And when we return, oh, this city will breathe culture like never before.
So yeah, it's only confusing because if you don't set your stocks, which are all set at like 10,000 by default, which is way higher than you would ever reasonably amass a single resource, the trade just doesn't work. And then it's really easy to overlook the fact that you have to assign ships to it. So there's a lot of like moving parts that the game doesn't really explain all that well. So that's why it's a little complicated at first. What I did just there while they were talking is I ramped up my industries that are going to be required. The other thing that I might need to do is I might need to get another carpenter workshop, or upgrade my old carpenter workshop to keep up with the demand, because now that we're exporting furniture, we're going to need to produce more furniture. So I'm going to have to adjust my supplies as a result of the trade that we're doing with Syracuse. All right, surprise your mother to create with busts, and father with decorative banner stands. So, research in society. Decorative banner stand needs to get researched. So with busts, huh? Mama wants 2 busts. All right. Let's put... Put them here. I don't need like an ugly fence. Alright, there's 2 busts. Romulus and Remus, that's what we're going to name. And then once the decorative banner stands are up, I'll put them in as well. We're getting kind of low on plebeians. So, I am going to build another insula. Oh, but not there. I thought I was along the road, but I was not. I'll build 2. Do we still only have one shrine? Yeah, it hasn't really asked me to do more shrines yet, so I haven't. Plus, even if we wanted more shrines, it's not like I actually have access to any more shrines. All the other shrines have not been unlocked. So we only have the Fortuna Shrine. For now. For now.
There aren't enough plebeians to manage and sustain production. Construct more insulae to attract new residents.
I know, I'm literally doing that, bud. Charcoal's fine, so I'm gonna keep that off. And then clay is dropping. I'll turn this back on.
We're running short on slave labor. Build more shelters so the city can accommodate additional workforce.
Well, while I'm at it, do you need more Vespine gas? Oh, I made a whole mess of this road. Luckily, roads are cheap. Research. What did I get? Oh, the banners. Okay, so let's do the banners. Decorative banner stands. There. Thank you for tuning in to Pompeii the Legacy, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Roman citizens.